moving out isn't just packing your things and unloading it in your new home. There are way more steps required till you get there, and hopefully without stress. In this video, I'll give you my advice or what I would have done different if I would stood in that chapter again of moving out. I'll give you actually the guidelines of what you need and what you can leave out, that you learn from the lessons that I could left out, but you can do it now in your step. So without further ado, we start with point number 1, furniture. Furniture is for sure one of the most expensive things you have to buy for your house. There are several things you have to consider. You have to buy a chair, a dining table, a bed, a closet, so many things that you have to add up. But let me tell you, when I started to look for furniture, I was immediately thinking in new furniture. I'll go and decide to buy them, get them in a furniture store, and I had a very good time doing that. Like, it was nice to have an inspiration of my aesthetic, what I prefer, and what I would do different in my family's home where I moved out with 19. But still, though, I still relied on my mom and my friends and family members of what do I have to consider to buy, what do I really need, since they already moved once or multiple times in their life. But it can be very overwhelming if you always get information from outside and can't really reflect it on your own, of deselecting what serves you and what doesn't. So I spent so much money on the new furniture, which was not necessarily. So what I would do different now, I would bring already things that I have at my home, like at where I live currently before I move out. Probably you already have a bed, like a closet or a nightstand. It could be that there are things you already own for multiple years. They're going a bit out in style and you don't really want to bring them in your new home. But who said that you have to keep it the way they are? You can modify them. You can paint them in a different color, give them another structure, even cut something out if it's from a certain material, put some fabric over. You will create or imitate the aesthetic that you want. By that, you can save more money. So, coming to the point finally of what I would do different. I wouldn't choose buying furniture new. I would consider from the start, like from immediately from the start, going second hand. Might that be like asking around your family if they have something that they don't need? Might that be like even in their garage or attic, they probably have maybe like a little drawer in their living room that they don't really need. So you can just ask. Your family members are so willing to help you. They want to support you on that journey. Yeah, it could be that it's not exactly the aesthetic you're going for or completely the opposite, but you can also be grateful of just having the opportunity to ask someone for giving things away for free for you. And as I said, they don't have to stay the same way. You can modify them, get them in a different way made up. And another thing is transport. You already have to transport all those furniture in your new home. And if you have less or being more mindful of what you're buying in your new household, that can give you a lot of time, and you don't have to build them by yourself. Or it really depends on, obviously, if you are living so far away that you don't have it convenient to drive your bed or mattress already there, then that's not an option. But find maybe something in your surrounding that you can go to, like a secondhand furniture or an outlet, or like even an online platform that sells furniture that you can collect. But that all can take a bit more time if you're not going new. Like, If you're going for new furniture, you already have the immediate stimulation. You got your things like the day you want. With buying it secondhand, it might take a bit longer, but you can plan ahead. You can go earlier in the process of what you need or ask around. Yeah, it takes maybe a bit longer, but who said that you have to be ready in your new house, in your new apartment, in your own space when you moved in? No, actually, when I moved in with 19, I didn't have everything ready. I had the basic, and from there I built it. Maybe I changed even something that I didn't liked. Yeah, but it was gifted to me, or it was serving the purpose in that moment, and that's all. It can just pass by and go for a new life. And the other thing that I would like to give you is finding multiple purposes for those items. So let's say you're having a desk. Use that desk for dining plus making your homeworks. Don't get an extra desk or table just for dividing those areas. Like, you can dine on the same table and do your homework or your study things on that table. Yeah, you have to keep it a bit more tidy. You can't leave it always on that table, but you can also have a drawer nearby that you can store the things, and it keeps also your home less dirty and cluttery if you're having multiple purposes for something. And if you're setting also your things right, you don't feel like you have to avoid certain things if you block all the space. You have it sorted out, you can put it aside and use it in another way. My second point is decluttering already before you move out. Maybe you have heard of that, maybe not. For me, it was not that obvious, to be honest with you. I thought, I'll bring everything that I have, I can sort it out, I'll find the space in my new home, I'll have space for everything. But obviously you're moving from like a bedroom from your family's house, or even like a little bit of bigger space where you could store the things in the attic of your home, or your mom said, no problem, you could also leave the things there. But you're obviously, or almost 90% of the time, you're moving in a smaller space. Or you even have roommates, so you're basically moving out but still have just one room for yourself available. But let's say if you really pack all your things with you and pack them out in your new space. The thing is, when you do that, you probably have way more time spending moving or opening those boxes, going through what you need, and you're really gonna end up having no space for that. You have no space for it, you don't know where to put it, and most likely you think like, why did I even bring that's so old that I don't really want that anymore, it's not really fitting my aesthetic anymore. You're gonna declutter again, like you're in the process already where it is hard to start. You wanna move in, it should be everything ready, you have that impulsive drive of being ready, coming, feeling at home in a base. You want that base created. But if you're bringing more and more stuff, you're building and stacking everything up, and you can't really enjoy that journey or that landing. You're landing in your new space, so to speak. And that's what I would actually do different, because I decluttered so many things in the end that I packed, and it was a lot of heavy stuff as well. When I had so many boxes in the end, for sure 3 or 4 I could have decluttered before I moved out. And that saves you not only time, the transports, and your nerves. You're not have to do all that things. So that's the key point now. Decluttering before you actually move out. You can select already what serves you, what doesn't anymore, and you're going in a space where you only bring your essentials. And probably even if you do that step, you will declutter a few things more, but you already prepared your second step ahead. You're not having the same amount of work in another place, so you're categorizing and giving small little portion for yourself. that you're not pushing everything just, for the future. That's really important. And as I said, it just not also comes with time, it is also decluttering that again, bringing it somewhere to where you have to dump it. It is so many steps, but we don't really think of it in the beginning. So really take that advice of decluttering before you go, and ideally make it very, very early, like even 3-4 months, if you can go so far ahead in time that when you know you're actually moving out, but go very, very far away. If it's just 2 weeks or 3 weeks, it really depends on you how fast you can make the process of deciding what you want to get rid of. It gives you a longer period of time of going over and over it if you can. That will be the best, I'd say. Yeah, so that's what I want to say in point number 2. Point number 3 is home essentials. We are having so many to-do lists, it's almost like a description of what we actually need in home essentials. But it's actually not that much that we need. And you get so overwhelmed of people saying, you need this, you need that, you need this and that. And all the time you hear different stories, but that always depends on what they do in their house. If they want to bake a lot, they have maybe a dough machine, but you're not into that baking, so maybe you're fine with an air fryer that does everything. Maybe you're fine with a microwave, but you don't use the oven. But what I'm trying to say is, don't buy so many gadgets for different things. Especially in the kitchen, we tend to have like a toaster, like a microwave, any other gadgets that you can think of, but they are not really serving your purpose, and a lot of times they take your electricity as well. So I will leave you a link in the video where you find a little list of what I think you really need in different departments of your house, like in the kitchen, in the living room, in the bathroom, in your bedroom. There are certain things you have to have, like a mop, a vacuumer, certain dishes and plates and mugs, and like things that are like the go-to basics for moving out. You need something like that. But also, especially, I think the kitchen is something that we spend the most of money, I would say, in new things, like, because when we're at home, like, we don't really recognize or see really how many things is in our kitchen. Like, we just use it all the time, it's available. But if you have to think of what you have to buy and make a list, it can add up so much. And I'll tell you, I bought like a set of 5 or 6, I think it was 6 of ware, like above big plates, smaller plates, soup plates, I bought bowls, I bought mugs, and I bought glasses, all those things for having just a set of something. Because I thought if people come over, they want to eat with me, I need to have it ready. Like, I need to serve them the plates. I have to be able to invite the people in my home. But that wasn't actually the case, which really was interesting to know. Like, if I invite them and they came over to my home, I always made something very easy, like something that we can serve on a big plate, like finger food, or that requires just one plate and it can be very easy to eat. So I didn't really use a lot of those items or that ware or the dishes, the cluttery and all that. I didn't really use it. So I would really reduce that. I would not go more than 3, like having just 3 plates, 3 glasses, 3 mugs, and having the serving of 3 cluttery. Why? In the end, it's just yourself that is living, and it saves you a lot of time of doing the dishes. I had to do the dishes by hand, and that's actually another interesting thing that I noticed about myself. I started to use over the time just the bowls. because in the bowls I could do everything, like a soup, I could do spaghetti or any kind of sauce in it, a salad. The bowls, I'm still today really obsessed with bowls. I love them for everything. And since I had to wash by hand, if I had those bigger plates, for me they were not that easy to hold or clean, and especially to rack up during the drying process, or cleaning it with the towel, because the bowls were so easy. Like I could hold them almost by one hand, and that's it. Rinse it off, and put it on the rack. And that was something that you might not know if you haven't experienced that without living by yourself. It could be that you already have that pattern at your home and you just spot that now from me telling you. But see, like, if your dishes, what you're tending to eat, see what that serves you, and not go more than 4. Really reduce it to 3 maximum. I'd say that I think 3 is like ideally. Like if another person is coming over, you have 2, and the third one can be like a main serving dish or ware that you can use to serve both of you. But even if that would be the case, that you have a lot of people coming over, you can ask them if they can bring something, or as I said, making the way of eating for them easy, like that you don't feel embarrassed of not having those access. And especially if you're getting more minimalistic and have to have the expectation of other people of what amount of things in your kitchen you have to wear, I think it's so stupid. Like, why would you have to have ware or items or tools in your kitchen for might be someone has to come over, or they in the future I will invite them, but 99% you are just you or the person you're living in. That's it, and you have to look for that. If there is other expenses, that's not your thing. Let's move on to point number 4, is paperwork. Moving out has also something to do with paperwork. You have to change your address, probably something changed in your taxes. I just can tell you from my experience when I was moving out in Switzerland, so it could be a bit different in your own country or in the place you're living or moving to. But be prepared that you also have to do that kind of things. You have a certain period of time where you can leave the old address, but that will change over the time. So make sure that you will inform yourself very early and that you don't get in any debts or problems, especially with the government, if you have to tell them or come in person to say, hey, I'm changing my address, I'm gonna take my paper with me, and also register yourself in the new place or county or village that you're going for. This is sometimes very overlooked, I think, and it's not the most enjoyable part. I do agree with that. But the thing is, all of those points that I'm saying are like, moving out already starts before you're moving out, which is logical, but at the same time not so really, I think, because your mind is so wired, like, I'm gonna move out, oh my god, I will have my own space, I don't know what to do with how my house look like. You're more obsessed of how you're gonna put your inventory in, but of the process of till you actually get the day you're moving out, all the cars, the necessities that you need till you get there, that can be quite overlooked. And that's what I mean with the paperwork. If you have to rent a car, of getting there, getting the people who help you to move in there, lifting the boxes, bring it up to your new home, don't overlook those things. I just want to give you that as a big reminder. The next one is learn already things before you move alone in a new home or living by your own. The thing is, certain things that might be not teach to you, or you think it was just a thing that your mom always did or your parents, such as doing the laundry. cleaning your house, keeping it tidy, cook for yourself. Yeah, like how to change a bulb in your house, how to use the dishwasher. Certain things that I think are essential that you can rely on yourself. Yeah, you have always the option to Google the things. You can always Google everything, Google or YouTube. Like, I love it. Like, you can make so much self research, you will never have the issue for that. But let me tell you, you make your life so much easier if you're really knowing what you're doing before you move out, especially for cooking for yourself. It is a big expense if you're buying prepped meals or going eating out every week or even daily, going for a coffee and a snack in the morning if that's your breakfast. It will add up so much. And if you can nourish and know what you really like and cook, that's awesome. If you already have, like in our school, we had cooking lessons. We had cooking lessons in the last 2 years of high school. They were awesome. Like, even the guys had to cook, which in most families, I would say still the women, we cook more. But don't always take it for granted that your mom always cooks for you. Try to invite it already before you move out, ideally, and interested in it, that you learn it. It can only help you. And if you need, just buy a cooking book, or your mom have for sure one, a spared one, or will write her go-to recipes for you in a new book or print it out on a Word document. She will help you for sure. And there are so many videos as well how to cook. And I do think there are a lot of videos as well of how to really take care and clean, because cleaning is also a big thing, not just for yourself, also for your health. Like, if you're surrounding yourself with a place that is clean, is good for you, for your health, and people also coming over, like, they will see how you take care of it. And having also a bit of a structure of how many times you're going to clean something. Like, are you going to clean this weekly? Do you have to make a plan? But structuring yourself by doing it, because there will be no one doing it for you. It's just yourself. I know I'm a little bit of a cleaning nerd. I really need to have a bit everything clean or in order of my mind. Like, if I haven't cleaned something for a while, I I really need to. And for me, it's also a bit of meditation, so it goes a bit in both ways. But learning like how to use a cleaning, and cleaning a toilet, cleaning the floor surfaces, and you can use like combined products, like so easily handmade things, like using vinegar, baking powder, and lemon juice. That's all. Or you buy an all-in-one cleaner, like an all a universal cleaner. It doesn't have to be like for every surface, like glass, wood, everything. You will have so many easily tools at home that you can use without spending so much money in different kind of cleaning things. That's a good tip also, to save money in those things. Do not buy. I wouldn't buy them. Even though I owned a TV when I first moved out, it was a gift to me. But later on, when I moved out again in the apartment that I'm living now, I wouldn't own a TV anymore. And we do not currently. And I wouldn't do that in the future, I say. The thing is, if you're not really a gamer and just having a TV for watching commercial or any Netflix or platforms you're doing, it takes a lot of out of your daily life, of your productive life, that you can be more creative, doing actual presence in the here and now, and not meditating away, or it's like you're in a stage of doing nothing, you're just consuming, and you're not really reflecting on your life. And also, probably you're not really watching it so often. And if you reduce that, you already reduce the amount of time you're watching TV. So you're more productive. And if you're watching less TV, that leads also that you don't watch so much Netflix or any other Sky, Disney or anything. And if you watch them less, you don't consume them so much. And if you're paying for that service monthly, which you don't really use, you can just quit it. You can take it away. It's not necessary to have it. And also, we do not own, or I wouldn't buy that in my first home, is like internet in the house, like a VLAN. I wouldn't own it. The thing is, like, I already have my phone and I can take that bill a bit higher and I can connect it with Bluetooth, hotspot, or anything to serve that purpose. And it works well. Like, even if I have two PCs on, give it to someone else, it might be days that it's not that perfect. But obviously, the most of the time, I'd say you are on the phone. By doing that, you are saving a lot of things, I can tell you. And it's not necessary. And if you have friends coming over and you feel like, oh, why wouldn't I have internet? What's that for a question? My sister was a bit like, why you don't do that? Like, for me, it's not a necessity. And even if people would need, I can just give them my hotspot. That's it. Or probably they have unlimited data in their country, or the provider which they have. But if I do want to watch something like on a TV, even though I don't own it, we got a projector. So with that projector, I can connect it with my phone internet, with the hotspot, plus connecting my laptop then with the beamer. And that's occasionally how I watch the TV or a bigger movie night. But it's not necessary. And especially, the thing is, moving out for the first time is like you're planting a seed. It's a new environment. You have never done it. It is also a big expense coming up to your life. You probably do not have that capacity to give out that much money as you will earn back by just moving out. And if you can reduce everything by not buying it firsthand, get really down to the basics, and probably take things out that you don't need, as I said now with the TV or the internet in your home, which I do not think is necessary. And as I mentioned in the home tools, kitchen gadgets, don't buy multiple kitchen gadgets that just serves one thing, one purpose. You couldn't buy a blender that also has a sourdough machine or a dough machine itself. You will find, I'd rather wait to have a machine that serves me in multiple ways, but not stacking it up as a different kind of product, because it takes, first of all, electricity away, and second of all, a lot of space in your kitchen, which you probably do not have. That's really it what I want to give to you. And check that description box out. I have that link for that little document down there. Make it a list. I really hope my tips give you an advice or a lift up that journey is also very lovely. And by the things that I learned now, you can have it easier, and you can also reflect on what those points that I mentioned is easier for you to get along or build it up or have inspiration of it. So thank you very much for watching this video on Ladies Mental. I'm Nina, and if you really want to support me, you can leave a subscription down there, and also comment if that's something you want to see more of, or what is your experience in it. Have you moved out already? Let me know. So thank you very much. Take care. Have a good evening. Bye bye.